Hey there, happy Thursday. Thanks for joining me for a craft night with friends. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together. All right, you guys, we are back on the Splendid Sampler 2. I have the sewing machine out, and I was all ready to get sewing today for this project. But then I looked at the next one on the list. It is the Lots of Hexies block. So we are actually going to be making a bunch of English paper pieced hexagons tonight. So we won't need this sewing machine tonight, and we may not even need it tomorrow night. Actually, I don't think we need it at all. This whole entire thing is hand pieced, so we'll have to use the sewing machine for something else, though, coming up next week. We'll see. So, all right, but for the next 2 days, we'll be working on this Lots of Hexies block. So let's get going on that. All right, everyone. Glad you are here today. So, like I said, today we're working on the Lots of Hexies block. It's by Yvonne Busdeker, and again, we are working on the Splendid Sampler 2 Quilt Along. Let's see, how many blocks do we have left? I think we have it marked. Okay, we have 28 blocks, 28 unfinished, so I'm just at this point going down the list. When we started, we kind of jumped all around, like whatever we wanted to do, but now I'm just like, let's just get her done, and I'm going top to bottom on all these. We finished the first column. And so Lots of Hexies, page 84 is what has come up next. So we need to make a whole pile of tiny little hexagons through English paper piecing. And here is the itty bitty hexagon right here. So we are going to start by making a bunch of templates. And I'm not even sure we'll actually get to the fabric tonight, but if we do, I will grab the fabric as well. So I'm going to zoomy you guys on down here. Okay, just getting situated. So, all right, so we need to start off with this hexagon, make 20. So the way I'm going to do that is I have, it's not tracing paper. This is actually from a shipping label. I keep all the little papers from the shipping labels. I don't really know why, but maybe because of this. So one side's super duper glossy. This side is not. I'm going to actually just trace one. And I'm going to just use this as a guide just because I can see through this really well. I'm just going to trace one and cut it out. And then I'm going to kind of use the edge of this to go on the outside of, or to just draw more templates on cardstock. And actually I might only do one on cardstock and then cut that one out. And then because it's cardstock, use it to trace because it'll be a lot easier to trace. But this is a simple way to just get my first little tracing of it. So, all right, I'm gonna trim it out. And luckily, in this particular design, if I'm a little off in these hexagons, like if you know, I accidentally make them a tiny bit bigger or a tiny bit smaller than our original template there, I don't think it's going to change much. I'm going to just trim this out. There we go. Just because we're only attaching things like in a little row, and then there's just a few floating out in the middle of space. So really we just need to make them all the same as each other, and then we'll be totally fine. This ink's coming off of my hands just a hair. You guys, I had to do my nails again tonight because they were looking rough. I can't wait till this powder comes, hopefully by next week. And I think it said it was shipping today, so maybe it'll even be here like on the weekend. That'd be super awesome. But I already like wrecked them. Like I already, you know, stabbed something, and I don't know. It's annoying. I'm ready for nails to last a long time. I hope that's really the case. All right, so I got a little postcard here. This is one of our postcards that we put in our packages, but you could use like a manila folder, or I know a lot of people use cereal boxes for this. And all I'm going to do is just go right up in here. Actually, let's maybe go in this corner here. And I'm going to trace. I'm not going to trace. I'm just going to use. Ooh, let's see. I'm just going to kind of. Maybe I'll glue that down. I'm going to glue. That's right. I have this goofy glue stick. All right. I don't think I've actually ever used this. Twist down here. All right. I'm just going to glue this, tack it down. Oh, I don't even know if it's going to stick on that side. But I'm going to just trace, or use the edge, really, to draw another hexagon on here. And then I'll cut this one out, and then I will use this heftier hexagon to make all my other hexagons. But I do need 20 of these, so we're going to be chilling here for a little, making 20 tiny, tiny hexagons. I should save all these hexagons. Maybe I need to make another pouch for English paper piecing. Just have various sizes of hexagons in it. A pouch for every craft. I think that's what needs to happen. I do have some spare pouches, so maybe I'll use those. All right, so I'm going to just take this away. I'm going to actually toss this one. I don't think it's stiff enough. I mean, you could actually English paper piece with this. And I know like a lot of super traditional English paper piecing, like something you'd find in like the 20s or something in an old quilt. Sometimes you'll see old newspapers, and those had to be pretty light. So you can actually English paper piece with something this light, but I personally like the heftier bit on the cardstock. So I'm going to just cut on like the inside of this line because I drew it on the outside of the shape, and actually I'm going to just straight cut out like that right away. So I'm cutting this as straight as I can, and then we will be making 20 of these. I'm going to make a huge mess here tonight, which is fine, and I think I'm going to get ink everywhere. All right, so this is what we'll use to English paper piece. So what we're going to do is actually wrap fabric around it, and man, that edge is looking kind of crazy. Let's just straighten that a hair, since this is our actual super duper guide. I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be. It's a little off. Like, that doesn't look totally horizontal. Ugh, God. I'm going to get picky again tonight. Let's just putz with this a little bit. Like, in theory, a lot of these lines should line up. My God, I'm getting so picky. Anywho, I think we'll stick with that. That's our hexagon. Oh my God, I actually want to make that more parallel here. Okay, so, oh, absolutely, Kathy. Kathy says, can I use the postcard you send? Absolutely. Use those postcards for whatever you want. All right, so this will be one of 20 here. And actually, what I like doing for English paper piecing is punching a hole in the center. So you won't see the benefit of that tonight, but as we work on this project, definitely. This will actually help us pull out this piece of paper later, which if you don't poke this hole in, so you'll be able to stick a needle in there or a pin in there and like pop it out. And if you don't do that, it's going to be actually pretty difficult to pop this fabric or this paper out of your fabric later. So this is just like a preemptive deal there, is to just punch a hole in your piece there. I think, I'm going to use a pencil. Oh, good. This says lead in. So I need to do 19 more of these. I'm not going to glue it down anymore. It's going to be easier because we have thick paper now. That's why I wanted to switch to the thick paper. So a lot of times with English paper piecing, you only need a few of these because then you'll you can reuse them, but for this one, we're kind of doing them all at once, and really, there's actually probably an easier way to do this, like to cut a couple parallel lines, and then do, I don't know, some angles, some 30-degree angles or something, but we're just gonna draw 19 of them on here. We're probably doing this in the slowest way possible, but well, there's tricks to everything. Oh, hey, Kiwi. We are working on a quilt that has 100 different blocks. It is called the Splendid Sampler, and it's a book. So it's right up here, and we're gonna be making this block. I'll draw these on top of here so you guys can see. We're gonna be making this block called Lots of Hexies. So we're gonna actually wrap these little hexagons in fabric and stitched them onto a back fabric eventually. So this is all the process for that. Really, you know what? I should be putting these up on the edge, shouldn't I? Then that's one more line that I don't have to cut. Work smarter, not harder. I'm definitely working not smarter, I don't think, but I might get smarter as I go. Just trying to make sure I'm bumped up against there. But in the future, I can reuse these. So if I make another project that has itty-bitty Hexies, these are, I think, half-inch Hexies. I think the hexagons are measured by how long each sides are. I'm not positive on that. Let me know if you guys know how Hexies are measured, but I believe it's by the length of each side, which this looks like a half-inch. Is there 2 templates, one for the card and one for the fabric? No, it's just, this is the only template. And then we're actually going to sew 4 of them together. And then we'll just place them onto the back fabric. There's no real template for the back fabric. We'll fold the fabric into quarters, like fold it in half both ways, just so as a guide on where to put it. I'm not quite sure I'm answering your question or understanding your question quite right. Look, oh gosh, I'm squishing my... So I have quick dry on these nails, but it's even with the quick dry, it takes time. Like a good, I don't know, overnight they'll be nice and it'll be like harder and everything to nail, but like during the tiny bit of time after doing the quick dry, it's dry to the touch and everything. Like I can go like this, but I can still push, I feel like, the liquid underneath. So I'm immediately wrecking my nails. So I really hope that I like this new system. The powder acrylic stuff that I have coming in the mail, and I hope that's a win for me because this is getting annoying. All right, we'll move on over to here. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh God, we're gonna make a zillion of these. I do have to say this is not my favorite thing to do, but once I start doing it, I always enjoy it. So maybe it's one of those hidden things that maybe I actually love, but I don't know. I don't especially like making all these templates. How do you know what size? Oh, Janet's asking, how do I know which size to cut the fabric? So so they are actual instructions in here. All of the blocks are 6.5 inches before they're sewn into the quilt. So once they're sewn all together, they'll be 6 inches because you lose that edge, that seam allowance of 1/4 inch along every edge. So we're going to cut them to 6.5 inches. So every block is 6.5 inches. However, on blocks that we applique or embroider, in the instructions they have us cut something. They have us cutting it a little bit bigger, like 7 inches, and then ultimately we'll be cutting it down to this 6.5. But with applique and embroidery and anything you're handling a lot, sometimes your like stitches can bunch things together a little bit, or, you don't center something perfectly right away, so there's a little bit of leeway to finish the block, and then you can trim it down to the 6.5. So it ends up 6.5. Oh, neat! Sylvia says, I just finished assembling an English paper piece. Dog using squares. Ugh, how cool. Oh yeah, find someone with a cricket, right? I know. Yeah, that's what I think of whenever I am stitching, or whenever I'm making these templates. I'm like, dang, I need to just, like, order, like, a thing of various template sizes from somewhere. Because every time we do an English paper piecing project, I'm sitting here drawing hexagons when this is, like, something that you could totally buy, or, like, with a Cricut. That's those, like, printers that can, it's not really a printer, but it can cut. I don't know if everyone knows what a Cricut is, but it looks like a printer, but it actually cuts stuff out. Like vinyl and stuff, so you can make, like, t-shirts and that sort of thing. But you can also cut out paper, like thick paper like this. You can also cut out wood, thin wood, like balsa wood and stuff. But, yeah, if I could have a machine just cut a bunch of these, then they'd be cut out, and they'd all be exactly perfect the same, and I could do something else. So absolutely, I should just find someone with a Cricut. And actually, my sister-in-law has a Cricut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, we're almost there. Then we gotta cut all these out. I should just order, like, figure out, like, what would I use often. I see, like, the thing is, I don't do any English paper piecing on my own, really. Like, I'm not coming up with, like, paper piecing projects. If that was the case, I would get a whole set, and, like, I don't have this is the only thing I'm working on, this Splendid Sampler project, where paper piecing pops up every once in a while. Other than this, I'm not, like, starting any paper piecing projects. But yeah, if I all of a sudden decided, hey, I'm gonna do, like, a big old quilt that's all paper pieced, English paper pieced, then I'd do some prep. I'd maybe have her order some templates from her. And the funny thing is, too, with this particular project, this whole book, a lot of the English paper piecing projects aren't even hexagons. They're crazy shapes that all go together to make, like, a really intricate pieced block where all the shapes are different. It's not all hexagons. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Hey, one more. And including this one, so 18, it said 20, yeah. And I did actually count it, the design, and there are 20. I can't really reuse them. I actually could reuse some of them. Like, if I made these little stacks one at a time, oh God, that'd be annoying, though. Theoretically, I could reuse these, though. I theoretically could have only made 4. I could have made 4 and then made this little bit completely from beginning to end and stitched it onto here, and then made the next one with the same pieces, and the next one with the same pieces, next one with the same pieces. So literally, I could have done this with just 4, making 4 templates. But by making 20, God, I kind of wish I just did 4 now. But we'll stick to this. We'll stick to the instructions. With this project, I'm trying not to veer too much from the instructions. I am making this project, lots of Hexies. It is a 6.5-inch quilt block from the book, the Splendid Sampler 2. I'm working through all of these blocks. There's 100 total. I think this will be after we get done with this one, we'll have like 27 left. Oh yeah, I think, Christine says, went to Michael's for the first time and saw the famous Cricut and almost fainted. Yeah, I don't think they're cheap. Alright, I'm just kind of getting rid of excess. Oh, what's the best way to do this? I think, well, first of all, the best way is to not lose my pieces. So let's just get a stack going right there. I'll leave this down here. I'll make the stack on my book here. I think I'm gonna cut out each of these. I think I'm just gonna go straight chopping these individually, willy-nilly, and then cut them all because I think I'm gonna be annoyed trying to do these together. So we'll start there. And then I will go through each of these. We'll cut them the best I can. If they're not perfect, I don't think I'm gonna sweat it like how I did that first one. I really did sweat that one. But that was the template for the rest of these, so I think it's okay that one might be a little bit better than the rest of these. Okay, now we'll trim all this. We're gonna have tons of itty bitty bits, so the good ones I'll put up there. I think I'll punch holes in them right away. Makes now says, oh wow, that's dedication. Yeah, and I'm kind of feeling it. We've actually been working on this for a couple years. I only work on it a little bit. Last year we worked on it a full week every month. So I do lives every day, except for the weekend. So Monday through Friday, I'm here doing crafty lives, and last year, our schedule for that, one week of the month, we worked on this project. And got about halfway done, I think, with this. So now I'm only working on it for like 1 or 2 days a month. So it's definitely a long-term project. But hey, we're in the 20s now out of the 100 blocks. So I think that's pretty good. So we'll get there. But yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm not, it's just so silly because I'm not actually a huge fan of super duper long-term projects like this, but then they just keep popping up and they just keep taking that long. So I like peppering in nice short and sweet projects. Like last night we finished sewing this guy into a zipper pouch. I feel good about that. Like if I can get my quick wins, my little quick win projects in the middle of these longer term projects, then then I can usually last on these long ones. Oh, dang, Kathy says, I did paper crafts and have a punch exactly this size. Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, maybe I just order a few things like that. But again, I'm not doing a ton of paper piecing, so I feel like, do I really need that extra tool? Because you're right, there are like paper punches where you can actually punch out. I could have just punched these in like 3 minutes instead of all this. But I don't know. If I intend to, but I'm going to put that in like my memory there. Because if I do intend to like make a larger piece like this, I think that'd be the way to go. Just get a hole punch that punches a hexagon right away. That sounds smart. But we'll get there. So I gotta do a little extra work for this particular project today. I might look into that though. Like I said, not that I need a bunch of hexagon punches, but now I'm curious enough to like peek. I do like hand stitching these. I think that's relaxing. But again, it's not really my favorite, and I have like other crafts that kind of fulfill that need of just needing to chill and stitch something without having to think a lot. I got other crafts that I like better than English paper piecing. But but I'm not ruling it out. I could see doing a long-term project at some point where I need a whole pile of Hexies. Oof, I'm going to have to make sure I dump these out of the spine of the book when we're done here. Moving some of those scraps out of the way. This isn't as grueling as I thought it was going to be, though. It's fine. It'll be fun to put paper on this. So or fabric, I mean. We'll definitely get to that tomorrow. Actually, we might get to that a little bit today yet, too. And now, actually, do I really need a punch for this? Because I will, when we're done with this, I'll have these. They'll be used, so they'll be a little worn, but they won't be unusable if I wanted to use again. So that's why I'm like, oh, I should just start another zipper pouch that's just dedicated to English paper piecing, because I'm sure I have just laying around in various places the other little hexagons I've made for, just like this for other versions of these. Should just start collecting them. And actually, the hole in the center, you could string them all the same sizes. You could string them all together too, which would be kind of fun. I am using the paper scissors for all this. Yeah, these are going to be super duper teeny. Okay. We're probably about halfway done, I would like to think now. We have a whole nother week this month, which is nice. So we have like another free week to kind of work on this stuff. It'd be awesome if we could actually finish this block. Put this one behind us. I'm punching them. Usually I would cut them all first and then punch them all, but punching them, I can quickly recognize them from scraps. Ooh, we'll have to pick fabrics. That'll be fun. So I am doing what we've basically termed the blonde quilt. Jennifer says, have you picked fabrics for this yet? I have not, because I knew, I got to make all these templates first, or anyway. So let's do this, and then we'll pick the fabric when we're all prepped and ready to do something with it. Nope, have not picked them yet. So hopefully we can pick them today. Actually, we might even be able to cut them out today. I don't think they have to be cut out super perfectly. And actually, since we have enough hexagons for each piece in this, we could actually glue these to our fabric right away before we cut them out. So that'd be kind of handy. I think we're going to do that. I'm a little nervous about this glue, though. I may have some other glue, because I'm not sure. This is permanent glue stick. Oh, but it says washable. Oh, but is it permanent washable? I don't know. It's non-toxic, but it says permanent glue stick, so I don't necessarily want this to be permanent, so that's maybe a bad thing. But I may have some other glue that I know for sure will come off. So I'll see if I have that instead. Or we could test this. That'd be something too. Kimberly, you don't actually have to glue the Hexies to the fabric. I can show you a different way to do it as well. So they've glued it in this example in the instructions, and I do find that if you glue it, I stayed away from gluing it forever, because I'm like, I don't like, the idea of glue with the fabric. Like, I don't know. I was trying to be like pure with it or something. I don't know. But then I started using glue to get the fabric to stick, and it's just so much faster, and you get crisper, clean lines, and it's even easier to stitch to some extent. So I'm like, maybe glue's fine. And just for the sake of speed, because I'm trying to get all these quilt blocks done, I think I'll do the glue method again. But you can stitch them, and we could do one or two where we stitch them if you wanted to know how to do that. But I think mostly I'm just going to use glue. And normally I would just use glue on the edges, but I might actually just glue the thing right down to the fabric right away, and then that might make it easy to cut out all the fabric. If it's all glued down and I can just kind of trim around it. I'm just going to hand trim the fabric. So I think that'll be easier. Yeah, Kimberly says I've always done the thread basting, but what a good idea. Much quicker for sure. Yeah, I personally actually kind of really enjoy the thread basting. But I enjoy the stitching the Hexies together, which is the next part of the process. I enjoy that more than I like the thread basting. So I think we'll just do the hand stitching for that and just do the glue. Alright, I got myself a little mess here. Let's just gather these and see if I have 20. Let's shake this book out a bit. It's going to be forever open to this page. There's still some in there. That might be it. There we go. Okay. I'm going to just shimmy sham this all to the side so I can toss the scraps later. And let's count our Hexies, see if we got our 20 here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I gotta start over. Why was 6 afraid of 7? That's a joke. Let me know if anyone knows it. Why was 6 afraid of 7? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10. 6. Got it. Cheyenne got it. Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we got 20. Get it? Oh, Kimberly got it too, because 7, 8, 9. That's a mom joke. I remember her telling that when we were little. I always like that one. Because 7, 8, 9. All right, let's. We're ready for fabric. Hey, that's nice, and we still have time. Yay! Okay, was not expecting to get that far, so that's awesome. So let me grab the fabric. All right, here's my bin of fabric for this project. And so now this is what we've been calling the blonde quilt, where mostly we're using tans and yellows, and then whenever there's an obvious background, I have been using white. So I'm going for like a white background quilt. So I'm automatically, this background here, I'm automatically just going to call that, ooh, the color just got really weird here. Okay, I'm going to automatically just call this white. So we're going to do white in the background. So let's just get that out. Here's some of my white. And at this point, you know, we've made a zillion of these blocks already, so I don't have any clean, perfect fabric. They're all like cut with weird shapes out of it and stuff. But I do like getting it out so we can kind of see. So let's see. This one has some light colored ones in the middle. These are all kind of dark, and some guys at the end here. What's this one here? Over here, there's another example, an alternate colorway. Yeah, just these guys on the outside. It's just whatever we want to do is what it kind of looks like. I don't know if I necessarily like one over the other. So let's just pick 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 different fabrics. That one has 5 different fabrics. Let's do 5. So I'm going to try and maybe stick to my creams. Every once in a while with this project, I pop out another, like a bright color, but I think we just did that. So let's stick to our non-bright colors. Honestly, this would be a good chance to use up scraps, but I don't feel like doing that. I'm just going to pull out some. So we could do, I have no plan for this. I think let's just keep going. See what we got hiding in here. Gosh, this is some old fabric that we haven't, this is all we have left of this little bit. Now's the perfect time to use it, I think. So we need 4 of each of these. And we can actually rearrange them later, which would be kind of fun. So let's just pick 5. Oh, we already have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 that look fine together. And all of these I think look okay together just because we pre-picked them all. This one's kind of cute. Should we do that guy instead? Do we want this more yellow feeling or cream, or the like tan feeling? I'm kind of feeling like yellow. This is kind of cute too. We could fussy cut the little stars, these little like flowers in the middle of all of them. Why don't we do that? I want to fussy cut. Let's, these maybe are the outside ones. That'd be kind of cool. I think I'm going to get rid of, yeah, I'm going to get rid of this one just because this is a batik, which feels a little bit different than these other ones, so maybe it'll be annoying to work with. So, and this just made the whole thing a little bit lighter, and I kind of like that. So, done. I don't think we need to spend too much time picking fabrics for this, just because it's going to be fine, however. Oh, Jennifer says she doesn't have any sound. Oh, it's back. Oh, weird. Okay. Good. I'm glad it's back. So, let's see. I could press these, but I kind of think, meh, they're fine. Good enough. I'd rather just get to it. So, I'm going to put these right side down. And each one of these gets 4 of these little Hexies. And all I have to do is make sure that I'm about 1/4 of an inch, like that each one of these are going to have a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So like I got to leave enough space in here so that they can each have 1/4 inch seam allowance. But I think these are all going to have plenty of space. So like that looks pretty good. Let's see if I have that other, yeah. I think I have that. So here's that other glue. Ooh, gosh, this might even be dry. I've had this stuff for forever. It was pretty good yet. So this is just like a school glue. This is a special sewing one called Sew Line. You don't need this. I would just get like an Elmer's glue stick. That'll work just fine. All right, I am gonna glue these all down, and this is just to tack it down. We'll actually be prying this glue up later. But this is just going to make it so much easier to cut, I think. So I'm going to just blop these all down. Just putting a little on. I might actually cut these out right away too. Gosh, I could actually just glue them right away too, couldn't I? Like do the second part of the gluing. Maybe I'll do that. We'll do one fabric at a time. That'd be fun. All right, let's then I can show you guys kind of like the whole process almost. Oh, T-Bird says I like the color choices. Yay! Okay, so let's get the nice old scissors out here. I know the scissors is huge, but it's the best. It's like I don't know. It's my favorite for cutting fabric. So I'm gonna just kind of go right down the center there. I am gonna try and divide these like how I did with the papers, just because it makes it easier to cut. But through the centers here, I can kind of get that 1/4 inch seam allowance. So now these don't have to be perfect, like a perfect 1/4 inch seam allowance. I mean, you can measure an actual 1/4 inch from the side if you really want, but ugh, that just seems like so much extra work. I'm just gonna eyeball it and go around each of these. So the gluing it down is just making it so I can easily like pick this up and trim the sides. There we go. So this is going to be our first one. Again, it's glued down there, so that's nice. Makes it easier. So let's trim out these 4, and then I think we'll actually do the glue basting on these right away. Because we're gonna have to do that with all of these. We'll just glue baste them all instead of the thread basting, just because it's quick. It's pretty much my go-to now when I have to do this. I'm definitely in the like let's get this project done mode. So if we can take like shortcuts, like glue basting, I'm all for it. But I kind of like doing these, like instead of picking all the fabric or like going through all the fabric. And gluing them down and then moving on to the folding the edges over. I kind of like that we're just going to do these one fabric at a time and then they'll all be done. Then the nice thing is that afterwards we can kind of decide what goes where before stitching them together. Maybe I should have ironed these. Ah, well. So we'll get as many of these done today as we can, and then we'll do the rest tomorrow. So, all right, to glue base these, I'm going to get my glue, and I'm going to go one at a time, so one side at a time. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the paper. I'm going to try and stay a little bit away from the edge, just because that'll make it easier to stitch later. And then we'll do each side after that. Oh, Gretchen says, you taught me the hole in the middle of the papers. It's the best advice ever. Yes. So that will become clear soon. I mean, it really won't become clear until we take the papers out at the end. But I think visually the concept will become clear soon. So, all right. I am, gosh, I feel like I got to close that every time. I put that one little edge on, and now I'm going to fold. Oh my gosh, I think I gotta pick this up to do that. I'm gonna fold this first edge over. And I'm gonna like finger press these little folds all the way out to the edge. And there, our first edge is glued down. So I'm just gonna go around, and I'm gonna put the glue on the fabric here too. That's fine. This is washable glue. Like once this is, oh my god, I can't grab that. Once this is glued, or once this is washed in the machine later, it'll be fine. I'm not worried about this glue. I suppose there's not really a reason to go like around the edge like that. I suppose you could just do the opposite sides and then you can do this like in any order, I suppose. There we go. So you can actually fold these over and then fold like 2 corners over like this and put a little stitch in there. That's the thread basting version of this. but I like the nice crisp edges you can get with the glue basting. So I'm hoping this all stays fine. I think it should. I think you can press these to make them stay, but we're going to be working this tomorrow right away, so I think we'll be fine. I'd be a little nervous if I was gluing these and then I wasn't going to work on it till next month. So that's why I'm like, I want to kind of get this project as far as I can between this week and next week. Oh, Kimberly says, I missed why you put the hole in the middle. I've never done that before. So I will let you know right in a sec here. It works especially, I know you said that you haven't done this with glue before, you just with fabric, but it works really well with fabric too to have the hole. So eventually, Kimberly is asking, does the glue make it so you can't reuse the Hexies? You can. I mean, it damages it a little, but so does the hand doing it. Like when you stitch hand base, you'll scratch the template with your, you'll scratch the template with your needle and stuff too. So it's going to have a little bit of damage, but you should be able to reuse it if you're using a thick paper like this. But yeah, so ultimately when we're done, so here's our Hexie, first of all. That turned out pretty cute, nice and sweet and little there. So we're just making 19 more of these. So it is a process. This is definitely a time-consuming process. I was kind of wary of this block at the beginning because, I knew this one might take a while. But actually, it's going to take a lot shorter than I thought initially. But anyway, we need to make 19 more of these. But why the hole in the middle? So eventually, before we stitch this down to our white fabric, our background fabric, we do not want the paper in when we stitch it. So ultimately, we are going to take this cardboard out, and so we'll press this. So this has like nice edges that will kind of want to stay in place. But then we're going to want to get this out. And so you can, we're going to like put like a needle, or like I have my stiletto here. We're going to actually like scrape underneath the fabric to release that glue. But still, then you got to get up, you got to get like your nail up in there and grab like the edge of the fabric to pop it out, which is annoying and it's not easy and it messes up your fold. But with the hole in the middle, you're still going to like go underneath and kind of scrape away the glue after pressing it. But then I can just stick the stiletto or like a pin in the middle here, and I can just pop it right out. So I don't have to go up and try and get my nail underneath the edge to pull it out from the edge. I'm pulling it out from the middle. I don't know if that makes quite sense, but you'll notice later once we are actually at the stage of taking these out that it is so nice to just be able to like get in there with a needle or a pin and pop it out. It's so much easier than trying to get up underneath the edge. So that's the reason for the hole. I love it. Oh, Gretchen said that it's a perfect project for folks who have to be in the hospital. I mean, it really is. That's one of the reasons that English paper piecing is super duper popular. It's so hands-on, and you can actually, if you had all these done, I mean, this is really kind of a very compact, right? Like, let's say you had like 40 of these. I mean, that's going to take you some time, because ultimately we're going to stitch these together. So we're going to have like a bunch of these, and we're going to like hand stitch each little edge, which is crazy, right? But that is what English paper piecing is. It is a lot of handwork. So in my head, this is that slow, nice, chill craft. I feel like especially for quilters who don't maybe like, for me, my like slow craft is like knitting and crochet, and now even like tatting I think fits that bill, where you can just kind of zone out and count your number of stitches that you have to do, and you don't really have to think, and it's just kind of chill. I think this is like the quilter's version of that, is English paper piecing. So I know a lot of people. And this was super duper popular a couple of years ago. these hexagon quilts. And they still are, I'm sure. But people would just have like their whole like a caboodle or like an embroidery thread holder, like a box like that, and they would have it just lined with a bunch of templates ready to go like this, and then just a bunch of fabric scraps, and then they would just go down the row and glue or stitch those, because you can hand do this too without the glue. One or the other, whatever their preference is, and they would just be prepping hexagons, and then eventually you hand stitch them together. This is not machine done. You hand stitch them together, and yeah, it's a chill project. If you love fabric related things and need just that zone out type project and like hands-on stuff, like handwork, English paper piecing is super fabulous for that. Oh yeah, Gina says people make entire quilts out of these. I can't imagine. I know, isn't that something? It is pretty incredible. People doing whole quilts, giant quilts that are just made up of hexagons like this. I mean, these are awfully small hexagons. These are smaller than normal hexagons because, it's just for this particular project. But, hexagons like this big, maybe like 1-inch hexagons. Again, I think it's measured a hexagon in the quilt land. I think it's measured by how long one edge is. So I would assume that these are half. And I don't know if anyone said if I'm correct on that. So this would be like a 1/2-inch hexagon, and I think the normal general size is like a 1-inch one, which is significantly bigger. But anyway, so we will definitely we won't be sewing together similar colors like this. We're going to be switching up colors, but we're literally going to put the right sides together with our cardboard in there still, and we are going to go tiny, like 30 little stitches, maybe not 30. Yeah, a good 15 though, maybe. And we are going to hand stitch these little freaking edges together until we have, luckily for this project, we don't actually have to do a lot of that. So here's the final project. We just have to stitch 4 together, but like 4 times. And then and then we actually have to applique this to our background fabric, so we are actually stitching around the entire edge too, so that's even more handwork. But for now, we're just making little baby hexies. So let's try and get these other 2 done in the amount of time we have left, and then I'll leave this fabric out so we know what colors we'll do tomorrow. And yeah, tomorrow we'll we have our colors picked, we have our templates made, we should be able to crank these out, and then at that point we're just stitching them together. I think or we can choose our layout. That'll be fun. Choose the final design, and then and yeah, we'll start stitching them together. And then, it would be nice to finish this block, so, I don't think we'll get too far stitching tomorrow, if at all, because we do have to make all these yet. But I do want to pick it up on Monday again, because like I said, I don't necessarily like these just sitting around only glue-basted for a long time. So if they are thread-basted, I wouldn't mind so much. I think I'm just paranoid. I'm sure this glue would hold for a period of time, especially if we lay these all on top of each other, but I don't know. I'd rather get them stitched and done and them off of their template piece. So we'll work on this like maybe Monday and Tuesday next week. I do want to try that punch needle yet, though. We talked about making a big punch needle of like our tulip pattern, like getting the download PDF of this, and then blowing it up like, I don't know, 500% or something, and then doing a big punch needle. I do still really, really like that idea. I don't know what I have for yarn for that. I'll have to look around for that. Maybe I'll do that this weekend. Do some prep work for that, but I would love to try and putz around with that next week too, just because we do have that extra free week, and I've been kind of finishing up all my little tatting projects and that tatting zipper pouch. It'd be fun to like get that last thing that we've had on the brain done. And then the first week of April is coming up. And the first week of April we'll be back on our ABC embroidery stitch along. So let's see, we did D. So elephant and fox are next. So elephant will be week 1. And the fox will embroider week 2. And maybe we'll be able to quilt those right away. Oh, JW said I've always wanted to try paper piecing. So this is English paper piecing. We've done some foundation paper piecing, which is a totally, maybe not totally different, but process-wise, a very different type of paper piecing. They're both really fun, but again, like totally different feel. But all right, we got our first 4 done here. We got 16 more to do, but again, this is the project we're working on right here. We're making this into a quilt block. It's a 6.5-inch square, and oops, I dropped one already. That's the other problem with English paper piecing with all these little hexies. You don't want to lose a freaking hexie. That'd be annoying. But we got 4 of our 5 fabrics done, or 4 of our 5 groupings of hexies done tonight. So yeah, like I said, I think tomorrow we'll be able to make some pretty big progress on this, because today we had to make all our templates and pick out fabric, and I mean, making templates takes forever, but yeah, I'm liking it. So we'll make all of our groups, and then we can decide, the best layout, right? We can rearrange them however we want until we have like what we want, and then I think we'll take a photo so we remember what that actually is. So that's the deal, I think. Oh, Jill said I started making a hexie quilt and was going to make a queen size. Dang. After a couple weeks, you went down to a twin. It's now finished, and it's a table runner. Yeah, I feel that. I know what that's the scary thing of like starting a huge project like this. But yeah, I bet you it's an awesome freaking table runner. That might actually be the best idea for it. All right, you guys. Okay, so thank you guys again for joining me today. So this is the size of them, like itty bitty. They're so small. So like I said, we'll continue this tomorrow. I do think this is fun. This is relaxing. Now that we're to the stage of just doing this basting, I do like that, and I do really like the hand stitching of it. This is what bends my needle, though, really bad, the English paper piecing. But it's already bent. We can bend it more. So awesome. We will continue this at 8:30 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. So thanks again, and I will see you then. Have a lovely rest of your evening. Good night.